This the AMG way, we don't follow the crowd. Quiet money moves, we just say it out loud. Tax-free living, long plays over hype. Build it right once, let the legacy right. We talk ownership.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the AMG Podcast. It is another day, man. We are here with another wonderful individual. We had the pleasure of meeting via LinkedIn, man, and we started chopping it up. This gentleman and I, along with Larry, we're going to have a great conversation. First of all, I do want to say what's up, Larry. What's going on? How are you?
Good morning. Well, good afternoon.
Afternoon, yeah.
The day is flying, brother. The day is flying. Looking forward to our special guest today for sure.
Yes, we got brother Elvin. What's up, man? What's going on, bro? How are you?
I'm great, guys. Thanks for bringing me on the program.
Absolutely,
appreciate
man.
it. All right.
Absolutely. Well, I can tell we're going to get right at it because people are watching. They're like, man, where's this guy at right now? It looks like he's at a conference or he's doing something. So we want to get into all of this, man. Like I said, we're going to have a good time. I do want to start 30,000 foot view, my friend. First of all, I already know this. You are a Marine, right?
Yes, sir. Roger that.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your
service.
service.
Acknowledgement. Yep.
Yes, indeed. And, we know we have a military background, but today, though, we're going to talk about your real estate background and your business and all that, right? Give us a 30,000 foot view of who you are, where do you operate, kind of just who you are in the industry, if you don't mind.
Yeah. So, my name's Elvin Ames. I'm the founder of Revelopers, the house sellers 911. And, we're, essentially out of Newark, New Jersey. So North Jersey area we operate out of. And some of the brands that we're better known for is, I see back there, We Buy Raggedy Houses.com.
That's the ball.
Yeah, so we're known for that brand in our area. We have up a lot of billboards and stuff like that, and we have this. I don't know if you can see it, but we have this vehicle that we used to drive around in called the Rag Bug. So it's a very colorful vehicle, and me and my brother, we started using this in about 2003, 2004.
Okay.
We wrapped our vehicle, and that's how we would knock on about 50 doors a day. So that's how we flip so many houses. We've done about 500. I always say I lost count. We used to do 4 a month.
Yeah.
4 flips a month, and I've been doing it for 25 years. So you can do the math. We don't do as many flips now because I'm more focused on trying to build the empire, the franchise, and also I run a tech company as well. So
now the tech company is Smart Realty, correct?
So it started off as Smart Realty.
Okay.
And then we transitioned to Smart Inc.
Okay.
So we and now the new company coming out, I'll be back to you to talk about that when it comes out. I can't leak it now, but that one's going to be a game changer. So I've been doing it for 8 years. My brother a lot longer. He's not here today. He's actually recovering he had cancer surgery, but Sebastian Rothwin. And he's a very interesting gentleman, very intelligent. And he actually worked with the team. He worked for JP Morgan and Chase when he was like 19 years old.
Oh, wow.
In their tech department. And he worked for the team that built the Google website for when they IPO'd. So when Google first IPO'd back in, early 2000s or whatever, my brother was on that team that built that website. Wow. So my brother's been in tech a lot longer than I have.
Yeah.
Then I kind of fell into it because of Smart Realty, and I've been doing it for 8 years. So, so.
I like how you just booked a second podcast, man. I like how you just booked another podcast for yourself. I know,
right?
Oh, yeah.
I love it, man. That's awesome. We fam already.
If you love this one, you're not ready for what's coming.
Yeah.
The industry's soon.
So before we get into our little questions we got going on, so where are you at right now? I'm looking at the background. I know we see your background, but you read it to us. But where are you though?
So we're at the International Franchise Expo in Jacob Javits, New York City, basically 42nd Street, Times Square area.
Okay.
So if anybody listens to this, it's actually starting tomorrow. It's going to be all day tomorrow. 9 to 5, I think. And then Saturday. So if you can't catch it in the work day, you can catch it on the Saturday. And
Okay.
it will be here. It's very good. A lot of exciting businesses are going to be here. So if you're interested in business, there's a lot of good energy in this place, and it's free. You can come in, go to International Franchise Expo,
Hmm.
and sign up and come on in. By the way, we're at booth 531. So come check us
531.
out. Booth
Okay,
531.
531. We'll
Yeah,
make sure this is out definitely this evening so everybody can know what's going on, have time, and that way you
absolutely.
can swing it around too. So, man, you've got a lot going on, which is incredible. A wealth of knowledge. What does a day look like for you, man? Like, where do you even start? Do you wake up, do your routine in the morning?
Yeah.
What pot do you dig in first, man? What's going on?
So, be honest with you, like, for me personally, my day starts business wise about 7 in the morning.
Hmm.
Because I meet with my engineers. They're in different countries,
Okay.
so my app developers, and we're all one team, but they're all over. They're in
Hmm.
India, so
Yep.
I'm more so on their schedule. I catch them about a day, and then I have two different AI people. She's been with me. Timmy been with me for like going on almost 10 years now, but
Man.
she's brilliant AI. She's in Serbia, and then I have Chris. He's in Europe. So we got, they're all over. They're
Yeah.
they're
Okay.
all over. Yeah,
Okay, so basically, you get into meeting modes, connecting with your people right out the
yeah,
gate, all that kind of stuff. So
absolutely.
so this the sign. First of all, I love the name of the business behind you. I love what
Yeah.
you're doing. So you're franchising. Before we, I'm just so geeking out on what you're doing. I think this is great.
Mhm.
Explain the franchise part. Like, what does that even? How does that even work?
So um, when I first started flipping houses, um, when you get good at something, what happens is you get more and more business.
Hmm.
And I actually got to the point where I actually would refuse business.
Oh
We were
wow.
just so busy. I
Okay.
remember we were doing a house for a house that got the person out of foreclosure. We actually closed the property in, that was one of the fastest times I ever closed the house at 2 days. So I think
Ooh.
we signed the contract the Thursday, and from A to Z, we closed it the Friday, the next day.
Wow. That's
Yep.
smoking.
And that's
Yeah, that's
getting, we didn't have title, we didn't have insurance, we didn't have anything, right? I
Yeah.
don't even think I had a private lender. I I don't even think I had a private lender. I had to get the private lender, in 2 days because the
Wow.
guy was going to lose his house the Friday. It was
mhm.
Okay.
gone, right? I had to, so it actually sold at auction, and he was actually in what's called the redemption period.
Mhm.
That's after it goes to sheriff's sale, and
Mm.
so he called us last minute. People
Yeah.
always wait till last minute.
Right. Right.
You've been
Right.
you've been bugging them for like weeks, and then they wait.
Yeah.
So 2 days left, but we got him out of foreclosure. Beautiful house. 60, I believe it's 64, 60, 68, Narren Place, Newark, New Jersey. Um, and I love, that was a beautiful renovation. I really enjoyed that renovation
Yeah.
because it had the old, if you're really into real estate, you gotta love it.
Yeah.
So it had the old architecture, the nice old molding. So we
Mm.
restored it. We kept they had the clawfoot tub. If you know
Oh
about those
yeah,
clawfoot tubs, super
yeah.
expensive.
Wow. Okay.
So, and besides, it was so heavy, nobody wanted to lift it down.
Hmm.
So what we did was restored it back to its beauty. Um, the floors were the old 2-inch parquet floors,
Mm.
and it had
Ooh.
some marks on it, like some stains that we couldn't get out. So we end up building diamond, a checkered board pattern using two different color,
Wow.
um, you know, tones in it.
Okay.
And by the time, and the first buyer that walked through the door was done. She was like, "It's done. What's the price? Nobody's getting in. Lock the door." Her husband bought it, right?
Uh,
and she was connected with the city somehow, and she wanted to put us in the newspaper. And I was like we're so busy. I have 30-man construction crew,
Yeah.
4 people in the office. You know, I was like, I don't even want. I can't handle no more.
Yeah.
And then I
Yeah.
had to
That makes
realize
sense.
we had to do something different.
Okay.
So, we had to systemize. And that's where I came upon the E-Myth by Michael Gerber. And I learned about his 7-part system. And if anybody who's an entrepreneur, if you don't have that book, you should go get that book. That really helped me a lot. And by, with that book, it also helped us think about the brand, breaking the business down into the 7 parts, lead generation, client conversion, customer satisfaction. Then at the bottom, you got money, management, and marketing, right? And then the core, you got the leadership. So once you think about the business in those 7 segments, it helps you kind of think about, okay, what type of system to build. And then we were able then to take each part of the business and kind of systemize it, right? To make it even more efficient, all right? Instead of just pulling our hair out. Because you could actually go broke by having too much business. Because what happens is you start juggling too many balls and people like what you're doing. They hand you more balls. Eventually the balls start to drop. Customer service starts to drop. People start to complain. You're not the same. And you end up losing business when you were so successful. And people haven't figured out that's why. You don't have a system in place to catch all the balls.
Gotcha.
So we ran into that problem, and then we started figuring out how to systemize it.
Love that, man.
Yeah. So sticking with the home flipping, you've been doing it for several years now, if not decades. What major shifts are you seeing in the industry right now?
So with house flipping, when we first started, I started off in 2001 was my first purchase. Me and my brother, we bought a 4-unit property, 2001. And but then I got into being a loan officer. Then from then, into real estate. And back then, I had a mentor, Glenn Gallucci. He's up in North Jersey. He has courses and stuff. You can look him up. I learned from him, and I learned from a few other people. And back then, it was very personal. You had to go, meet with the seller and see what the problem is that they had and solve the problem. And we never tried to take advantage of the person. Like,
Right. Yeah.
a lot of, and I'll just want to make this note. You'll hear a lot of politicians talk about like these investors are scamming people. The people use us because there's nowhere else to go, and they have a need that we fulfill, and that's because they can't sell their house on the regular market. So we fill that niche, right? Where the regular capital is not going to fund them out of the situation. So the way it was back then was more personal. The way it's going now is people are trying to make it impersonal, and people are talking about, they're doing a lot of targeted marketing, a lot of SEO. They're trying to use AI now.
Yeah.
And it's kind of lost that appeal that, trying to help the guy out. So now everybody's like, okay, well, I want to see how much money I can make, right? And, even my attorney told me some young guys that started in the business, and they're just, they're using AI to target the people, which is fine. And they're basically just getting it on a contract and then just shift it to somebody else, right? When we close the property at Revelopers, we close the property. It's us that's closing it, right? We're not selling it to somebody else who then you got to deal with. Like, you're dealing with me. Now, who's this guy?
Gotcha.
Man,
You
that's
pass it
crazy.
off to, and people don't think like that, So no, you're dealing with us. You're dealing with us the whole way. That way, you can negotiate how long you can stay in the property, how much money you're going to make from it. It's a two-way conversation, and we handle everything with care. We don't have any complaints against us after 25 years in the business. So that's where I see it's going a little bit impersonal, and we want to bring that personality back to it.
Oh, you sound like you work with us, man. Come on,
no, right?
What's funny, Elvin? This is crazy, and Larry, you continue. This is the second time we've heard that this week.
Today,
really?
I have today. Yeah, we heard it earlier. Yeah, same thing you just talked about. We heard that this morning from someone in Florida. Same thing you just said. Exactly. Regarding
business.
They're in a different business. They're in a
Okay,
different
okay.
they're in a different sector of real estate. But my point is, it's like the whole impersonal thing. They want to bring
Yeah.
it back to personal, like
Yeah.
how there's a place for technology, but
Yeah.
it's not a replacement in her mind and in your mind. Obviously, it's
Yeah.
a maybe an enhancement, maybe help with efficiency, but you got to
Yeah.
have that human element to your point. And that's the
Right.
second time we heard that today. Yeah,
Like the technology, you know, should get you to the door. Okay, you use all the tech,
sure.
get to the door. But when
Yeah,
you're at the door, you meet it in person. You know what I mean?
makes
Right.
sense.
You know,
Makes sense.
so that's the way you got to look at it. You can use the big tech and all that, the marketing, the brand, the AI, to get in front of the person.
Mhm.
But then you deal with a human being. Make sure you
Yep.
treat them right, because also it's gonna come back on you, and that's why you
Yep.
know the industry in a way has such a bad bad name.
Yeah.
Like scammers taking advantage.
Yeah,
You
got it.
know,
Yeah.
it's best we'd rather walk away from a deal than somebody feel we cheated them out of something.
Yeah.
Sure, sure,
It's not
sure.
worth it to us.
Exactly.
So it sounds like the people that are using AI the most are the ones that's actually tainting the industry by scamming people, right?
Yeah, I mean,
So
it's not
with
that they're
that,
scamming them. Yeah, it's like Larry. It's like they're not like they're dealing with them. Boom, I just spoke to you, right, Larry?
Mhm.
I got your contract, and then I'm selling it to somebody for 10 grand, so I could keep turning the money. Now, who's this guy? You don't know if that person is ethical. You don't know if that
yes,
Oh,
like
yes, got it.
yeah.
Yep.
So you
Yeah.
done brought in a
uh,
third party without party
yeah,
number one even knowing about it.
right.
Yeah.
Instead of you going the whole way,
Mhm.
that's what's happening.
Gotcha.
Got it.
Gotcha. So if that part of the industry is doing that, how you view that? How does that change your growth strategy at all?
So it actually helps us in a way.
Okay.
Mhm.
I was saying to one of the guys at FMS. FMS is Franchise Marketing Systems.
Okay.
That's the
Okay.
company we signed up on to franchise the company, and he was trying to coach us about what to say to people at the event, and he was talking about sales, and I said to him, the truth is that the biggest sale is being honesty, honest to the point
Right.
where the person the customer actually takes you crazy. I give you an example. Like people ask me what their home is worth. I'll say, oh yeah, fixed up your house is worth 300,000, but my offer is going to be 150,000. And they said, we just told me your house is worth 300,000. No, I said fixed up, your house is going to be worth 300,000, and let me tell you why I'm offering 100,000, because it needs $50,000 worth of work.
Mhm.
When I take into consider my calculation, plus the 50 grand worth of work, plus the equity, plus the sweat, right, that I gotta and the profit I
Yeah.
gotta make, that's the highest offer I can offer you. So they'll go to the next guy, and the next guy will be like, I'll offer you 5,000, $10,000 more, right? And then they'll say to them, well, how much is my house worth? Oh, don't worry about it, right? Like he's afraid to tell them, right? Then right away
Mm.
the trust is gone. I've
Yeah.
Yeah.
had people who come back to me where the other guy offered them more money. I'm talking about like 40, fifty
Ah,
thousand dollars more,
Hmm.
and they just didn't trust him because you know what? They're like, you know what? I'd rather take the guy I trust,
man,
and
I
that's
love
that's a crazy thing
transparency.
to say, but
Yeah,
I've done it over 500 times, so I'm telling you, this is the truth. People rather deal with you if they trust you than
dude,
a person's a scammer. Yeah,
Yes.
being straight up with people and being
yeah,
transparent is
That's
nothing
it.
like it, man. Like
That's it.
you don't have to be slick. You don't have to leave stuff out. You don't have to be covert. You know what I mean?
yep,
Just be straight up, man. Like I love it. I love what you're
straight up.
saying. Yeah,
Be
definitely.
honest.
Mhm.
Yes. So if we're looking at, I mean, obviously there's a lot of great things working for you right now, man. I mean, well, that's obvious. What are some of the things that maybe you're navigating through that are maybe a little frustrating? You're like, all right, we got to fix this. What's something recent that you're like, no, we
Yeah.
got to get better at that?
I'll tell you one thing that, and this is, you know, this is a big problem. It's a big problem. I don't know how it's going to be solved. Hopefully, I hope with a solution. But with startups, right? And we're a
Mhm.
tech company. You know, being a minority, did you know that less than 1% of all startup funding goes to women and minorities? Did you know that?
Did not know.
Did not.
99% of all startup money go to white men. And I'm not mad at white men. I'm not mad at you, but that is ridiculous. It's talent there is that minorities and women have, and less than 1% of all startup funding goes to us. That's absolutely ridiculous,
Mm,
right? When some of the greatest innovators have been minorities,
mm.
women, you know, it's so that's super frustrating. It's like they're looking for a type. It's a joke, right? It's like they're expecting a type
Hmm.
in order to always be the person that is going to create the next Uber or the next
Mm.
Amazon. It don't happen like that. The guy that creates the next Uber and the next Amazon is not going to look like the guys that created it before.
Yeah.
It's not the same. So that needs to be dealt with.
Hmm.
Whether some private capital comes in and helps
Hmm.
deal with it, or the government corrects that by helping fund some startups. You got a lot of brilliant business people like you guys, myself. They just can't find the capital. You
Mm,
know,
hmm.
it took me 20 years to get to the point that I'm at, and
Mm,
I had to I had to, you know, take all the money that I made
yeah.
from flipping houses and plow it back into, purchasing the domains, getting my trademarks,
Yeah.
over 20 years. So that's absolutely ridiculous. And there's no reason to slow down progress
Hmm.
because we can't get funding when there's so much uneven funding running sloshing through the system. And it's
Yeah.
not going to the right
Yeah.
people. So that needs to change, and that's a big problem.
Wow. So yeah, I definitely see that. I mean, we talk to entrepreneurs all the time, and that we do hear about the challenges of startup funding. That is for
Yeah.
sure. And if you are to get some level, there's a lot of red tape, more than usual, and the interest rates are through the freaking roof, right? So
Absolutely. Yeah.
so we hear that a lot now. So in regards to your business and scaling, what are some of the metrics that you guys use to measure your growth? Like what are you looking at in the system? What are the key indicators that show you that okay, we're moving the needle in the right direction?
So for us, because we're like um door knockers, we
Yeah.
we, we kind of look at like conversion per person we speak to face,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
So we'll convert. I'll give you the numbers. Typically, for every 10 people we speak to, and these are targeted distressed sellers, like they got a problem.
Okay.
Got it.
It's not like they don't
Yeah.
have a problem. So for
Right.
every person that opens the door
Hmm.
to us, about 3 out of the 10 on average will want to do something,
Hmm.
right? They'll
Hmm.
want to do something. The other 7 will be like, no, I got it handled. I got the attorney,
Yeah.
whatever.
Sure.
Three
Hmm.
of them don't have a situation,
A solution for it.
about,
Yeah.
right. Um, about out of those 3, um, probably only one deal will meet our numbers. The other
Hmm.
2 deals we can't buy because a lot of times this is crazy. The people don't own the title properly because it's usually
Oh.
inherited, or they own it with a spouse and the spouse isn't willing to sign off. So we
Yeah.
get crazy situations where we try to negotiate both sides, but we've lost a lot of good deals because we just can't, like, people will just let the property go to foreclosure rather than
Wow.
work with the spouse. Yes,
Oh.
happens all the time.
Oh.
Yes, sir. I'm talking about hundreds of thousands of equity loss.
Wow.
All right, by
Good
that.
night.
Yeah.
That
So
says a
so
lot
out
about
of
that relationship.
yeah, it's sad. And the worst is probate. The worst is
Oh yeah.
probate,
Oh
where
yeah.
you have like 10 family members and nobody wants to give one family member
Hmm.
the permission to do the work, and that's how the courts operate. One person has to be the executor
Yeah.
to handle the
Right.
business.
Right.
You know, and then you can't gather up everybody. We do a lot of. And by the way, um, divert a little bit. We actually own We Buy Houses.com also, And if you call 1-800-Probate, that rings to Revelopers. So we corner that brand as well.
Yeah, I remember you told me that.
Segment.
Yeah.
That's another segment. That's actually a bigger part of the distressed market and foreclosures itself.
Oh wow.
And it's consistent, unfortunately, because a lot of people pass away. And but yeah, so typically 1 in 10. If we could get 1 in 10 conversion, we've done great. And out of all the doors knocked, we'll knock on 100 doors to speak to about. Typically, we'll speak to about 10 people. About 20 to 30 people would answer the door, but they won't come to the door, right?
Yeah.
And that's I don't get into the mail-ins. The mail-ins don't really work that well. Our conversion was terrible, like maybe less than 1% call, and then the call. So it was kind of a waste of time. With the billboards, the billboards didn't really generate a lot of calls, but it generated a lot of awareness.
Yes.
So what happens is when we went to the door, the people knew who we were, and it's easy to convert the sale.
Right.
So we didn't have any competition. Like if you and I going up against the same person, and I'm with the We Buy Raggedy Houses guys. Oh yeah, I know you guys. Okay, come on in. And I'll tell you one more thing. One thing that me and my brother realized, and if you want, I could get into why we got into branding and stuff. When we first used to knock on doors, we used to go out in suits and regular vehicles. And we noticed that people didn't really open the door. So probably the amount of people that opened the door would be less than 10%. I'm serious, right? You see them peek through the window, close it, right? And then once we started branding ourselves and wearing uniforms and wrapping the vehicles, that would go up tremendously, about 30%. So, and then after a few months, I said something's missing. I've noticed there's something that's different every time we wear the uniform and with the branded vehicles. And I couldn't put my finger on it. And then one day I'm thinking, I know what it is. He's like, what is it? Nobody's asked us if we have the money to close anymore. And before then, people would ask us if we have the money to close. Are you sure you can close when you had a suit on?
Yeah.
And it's been over 20-something years. Nobody has asked me since then if I've had the money to close. Once I mentioned, right? Because the brands are trusted. So like UPS, FedEx, Amazon, when those guys show up, you open the door, right? Because they're branded, right? Who don't you show up? Who don't you open the door to? People in suits. You take their cops, Jehovah's Witnesses, or somebody's salesman, right? So it clicked on us like,
hey man, I feel you. So what's interesting about, I love this, and Larry, you can probably see the similarity with Elvin and I. So in a different industry, an insurance industry, I started as a door knocker. And well, I'm giving thumbs up. This is weird. But anyway, point is, I can relate to what you're saying, just to kind of, reinforce what you mentioned about how you wrap the car and how you did. So part of my strategy was exactly what you just said. So instead of looking like the UPS man, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go dress like the Orkin man, the pest control guy. I'm gonna put some khakis on, right? I'm gonna get my lanyard, right? With the you got it on. I'm gonna put my polo on. I'm gonna tuck the shirt in. I'm gonna use the right colors, and they're not gonna think I'm a funeral director. They're not gonna think that I'm a detective, especially when you're working in the hood. They're not gonna right. So I completely, when you said that, I'm jiving. I'm like, yes, that actually works. Because then.
What did it go up to? The conversion?
Oh, dude, man, I'm telling you, when I changed and stopped wearing suits in the field, first of all, I stopped sweating. Let's talk about that. Okay. But I would say it went up. Say if I was getting in maybe 1 out of every 10 doors, two, I was getting in at least 4.
Exactly.
At least 4.
Yeah,
and
close to our numbers.
And just as like you probably noticed, it was also the attitude of the customer. There wasn't this stank look like, oh, what you want, man? Right? It was like, hey, how you doing? It was more pleasant, right? Right.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, man. Yeah.
Yeah. No arguments.
Yep.
The
Yep.
door closing stop. Like people don't slam the door in your face anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You know. And another thing we did is right away we told them what we did. We didn't beat around the bush. You know.
Right.
You know, because people hate that. Like they absolutely hate that. Just tell them
Yeah.
what it's better for them to close the door and know what you did, and get out of there than
Exactly. Because if you think about it, that's what they're thinking anyway, right?
Yeah.
They see you outside, the ring cam or whatever they're looking through, and they see you.
Yeah.
Who's this guy at the door, and what does he want?
Yeah, exactly.
That's what they
Right.
want. So that's awesome, man. Go ahead, Larry. I'm sorry about.
So let's gonna do a little pivot, slight
Mhm.
pivot.
Yeah.
You can be business or personal.
Mhm.
Where do you want to be in 6 to 12 months from now?
6 to 12 months from now. Well, I definitely want the franchise to grow for Revelopers,
Okay.
business wise. And well, right now we're not fully franchised yet. We have what's called a 2-day exemption in New York City to advertise. So we're going through the process. So definitely I want to be done with that. And I think we're going to be done with that in a lot faster than the average company because a lot of my documents are dialed in. So that's the first one with that one. I'm probably going to get a lot busier than I want to be just because it actually coincides with something we've been working on. And that we'll come back and we'll talk about that once it's launched, that tech company. That's going to be really game changing. I think I believe it will. And the team does too. So
Okay.
we're going to be excited about that. Personally, we were looking to move to Florida because one, I'm originally from Barbados, so it's easy to get to Barbados from Miami. It's
Sure,
one
yeah.
flight versus Jersey.
Two. Yeah.
Kind of tired of the cold weather,
Mm-hmm.
so that's one thing that I wanted to do. But the prices are still not where we're interested in yet. Even the distressed market, we're still not. We haven't found what we were looking for. We're looking for something specific. So we want something on the water with a boat. If I'm going to move down there, you got to have a boat. I mean,
Look, man,
it's not
if you're
what I'm
gonna
doing.
be in Florida, you might as well
I
be it
just
all
stay
the
in
way.
Jersey.
Yeah,
I
you
just
know what I'm
do it all
saying?
the
Yeah,
way.
I
So
feel
with
you,
the
man.
boat, the water.
Hey,
I'm not even.
it's boat. You got a couple options when you come down here. You got
Yeah,
boat,
yeah,
you got
yeah.
golf carts, you got pools, you got water. You got to have
Right.
some one of those 4 things got to be in your arsenal,
Or all four.
or all
Or
4,
yeah.
or all 4.
So that's what I would
Exactly.
like to do.
Yeah,
But
man.
but, but I think though, Larry, I'm going to be, I'm going to be very busy, and I just want to say something too. Like, um, I know a lot of great guys that um very influential. Me and them have conversations, and I realized something like when you're when your life is leveling up and you're about to do something phenomenal or big, you
Mhm.
have a lot of disruption in your life,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and just I had a lot of personal disruption in my life, and even to the point that I was with all the houses we've bought, I had to I was staying in different properties I own just to get out of the house, and now I'm more get into a minimalistic lifestyle where I could travel light. And,
Mhm.
and why I say that is that I'm realizing that when you have a calling or something that is going to be, that you have to do in life, like do this. This is, by the way, this 20 years in the making. This
Yeah.
was supposed to be done in 2006.
Okay.
So don't
Mhm.
think I'm some over. Yeah, I've been sticking with this 20 years,
Mhm.
getting ridiculed and pouring money in, but it's much better for the wait. The recession put the kibosh on that, and I had to rebuild,
Yeah.
Mhm.
And what I realized is that you're going to get a lot of disruption in your life.
Mhm.
Things are going to go really, really bad, but it's not to punish you, it's to nudge you in the right direction.
Yeah, man.
When I would meet homeowners, after speaking to thousands and thousands and thousands of people in distress, you get to meet people after they got out of the situation that you
Mm-hmm.
helped get them out of the situation,
Mm-hmm.
Right.
and the people who didn't get out of the situation,
Mm-hmm.
who moved too late and lost the house, or
Yeah.
didn't work it out, and and lost everything.
Mm.
And the people that I met that were able to sell or get out of the situation and move on, and they got out of it in a good way, they were always much happier. And I started to realize that what it was the the emotional attachment they had to the property was their, was it like a anvil around their neck,
Oh yeah,
right?
for
Oh
sure.
yeah.
Right?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And
Yeah.
The biggest purchase they
and
ever made in their life, for sure.
Yeah.
yeah,
Right.
and it was devastating, embarrassing. Everything's wrapped up into it. But when they got out of the situation, a few months later, you would see them, and everything would be great.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm.
and then I realized, and I was telling them that's the universe pushing you in the direction. And I would say that so often that it was just like something I would say to people, and they believed me, and they were, they would see me later, like, you were so right, you know.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
then it happened to me where so much disruption happened, with family and stuff like that, to the point where I moved out, and I realized is that it's because the universe was pushing me in a certain direction, and I was trying to have everything. I was trying to have the family life. I was trying to, you know, bring food home at the end of the day, and and take care of my contractors and take care of everybody, and still try to build a mega empire and all this foolishness. Nah, the universe, like, nah, bro, that how it gonna go. You're gonna
Mhm.
have a tough time, or you're gonna make you're gonna make the change. And I had to, even to the point where, like, me and the wife got into issues and arguments, and he got pushed out, like, out into the world. Now I'm basically like living out of hotels. And then it dawned on me this morning. I'm looking out through New York City. I'm at the 27th floor of the hotel,
Mm-hmm.
looking out into New York, looking at the empire of New York, and I realized that's the life. It's like, what was the I think it's a Star Wars character that says something to that effect. This is the way, like,
Yes.
this is the way. Like,
Yes.
in other words, you're not going to, like, if you want to be that samurai, this is the way. You can't have that the way that you want to everything to be to work out. That's not how it works, bro.
Yeah.
You have to. Now I understand why the guy who started Uber was a backpacker, traveling
Mm-hmm.
Europe, or the
Mm-hmm.
guy who, now I get it. Now I see why these guys have to go through this turmoil,
You got to go through the
because,
fire, man.
yeah, this is all, like, you got to go through the fire. You're not
Yeah.
going to be a sword unless you get bent, you know what I mean, and burnt, and beat upon. So
You
I had
preaching,
to
bro.
then,
There you
yeah,
go.
it's deep, man. And because you catch me while I'm realizing this.
Yeah.
Like, like everybody else, I'm like blinders on. Okay, yeah, I could do everything. I could be the family guy. I could be the husband. I could be the, you know what I mean. I could do everything, and I can't. I can't. For me to build this empire, I have to be that lion, bro. And it's you almost want to cry, because you realize that you have to make personal sacrifices that to the empire don't care. That's why I looked out in New York. I realized it don't care. Like, bro, you want to build this? This is what you got to do, and or we moving on without you. So when this opportunity came up, like, we were not. I didn't even expect to be in the international franchise event, because we just started the document, just penned the deal with
Hmm.
FMS and stuff like that. And he actually, Chris Connor, that's the CEO of Franchise Marketing Systems that we signed with. He actually told us that we really can't do these events because we don't have the FDD yet. We don't have the FDD's franchise disclosure document, and then franchise agreement is FA. We don't have those done. We're not registered yet, so we really can't sell franchises. So we wrote it off. And then the guys at IFE called me up. They asked me if I wanted a booth. Um, and I said, well, I can't do it. Well, they said, well, New York has a 2-day exemption.
Mm.
Right. And I'm talking about this happened last week.
Oh, wow.
So,
Okay.
so I said, well, this thing's next week. How do we do this? So they said, well, we'll try to, get you 2 week day extension.
Yep.
And they gave me a great deal. I couldn't refuse. I can't repeat it because they'll probably kill me. But they gave me a great deal on the booth, right? And we jumped through hoops, right?
Yeah.
We got the state, even though the state had closed the window to giving the exemptions.
Okay.
But we spoke to the guy at the state, and he said, no, I'll let you do it. Send out the form. The window closed, but send out the form. We did that. We got approved like the next day, and I had to jump through hoops with fast signs in Newark, New Jersey. Thanks to those guys. They got the banners done, and these other gentlemen got the hats and everything done.
Yeah.
Like lickety split, and this over Memorial Day weekend where it's like holiday Monday.
Yeah.
So I got everything yesterday, and we came here today. And
That's awesome.
The reason I'm saying that is because when you cannot waste time. It took me 20 years to get here. When 2006, when we first wanted to do this, a recession happened, and we didn't bounce back fast enough. And so this is an opportunity. I don't have another 20 years. I don't, I'm jumping on this now, and hopefully anybody listening to me that, has the entrepreneurial spirit, you got to recognize that when those opportunities come, like Eminem says, you get it once in a lifetime, right?
Yeah.
You have to jump on it.
Yeah.
And yes, you're going to have to burn some boats to get there, but that's how the universe works.
Man, look, I love this, man, because you're dropping so much knowledge and insight and truths about how to sustain, how to pick yourself up, how to find opportunity when it looks like a brick wall in front of you. And regardless of what field you're in, real estate or whatever, man, there's a lot. And I appreciate your transparency and you even getting personal, because that's what we like to do, man. We want to be very real and gritty, because that's the stuff that helps people, man. A lot of the other stuff is fantastic, and we love celebrating with people for sure. But man, what you just shared in the last few minutes probably is more impactful than anything you shared in the first 20 minutes.
Yeah.
To the average listener, because you're penetrating hearts. There are other people who are going through things as you've gone through. There are people in the fire right now trying to figure out how the heck do I get out of this? And they just heard what you said. You know what I mean? So it's very impressive and valuable, man. And we thank you for your honesty and transparency, my friend. Now, where can people find you, man? We know this weekend, but in general, outside of the expo, where can people find you on social media?
So now we really have to get in social media, because the customers that we deal with, they don't really find us on social media.
Right.
Nobody's going to social media.
So how can people find you?
Right? so but now, yeah, I gotta get with it. But we will. So right now, if you call, you can call this number. It's easy to remember, 888 Raggedy. All right?
That's hilarious. I love it.
Everybody can remember that.
Yeah, exactly. You're not gonna forget that. You call our 1-800-Probate. You'll get us. You'll get Revelopers. Just ask for Elvin.
Yeah.
And that's the best way to get a hold of me. The office will get a hold of us. Social media is something we're gonna start.
Yeah.
But all these things, like you guys, a lot of hard work, and I give it up to you guys. We tried doing a podcast, and I know the hard work involved to get it out, to book guests. So I really commend you guys, because and all the viewers, you got to give these guys share, likes, and follows, because it's very difficult to sustain this, and so I definitely
we appreciate the flowers. We appreciate that, man.
Yeah,
we do. All right, 888 Raggedy, right? Was it 1-800-Probate or is it 888? Which one? The probate one.
You can call 1-800-Probate or 888 Raggedy.
Raggedy. Come on now.
Yeah. Can't forget 1-800 probate either. Right?
Now,
Too easy.
now, raggedy is houses, not people. Like, if,
Yeah, right.
Yeah, houses. So we say raggedy houses, raggedy situation.
You're
right? Yeah.
I got a cousin that's raggedy. Let me call this number.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. Hey, Elvin, we appreciate you. Yeah, I know.
They want to sell.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Hey, dude, we appreciate you, man. Definitely have to have you on again. And thank you for taking the time today in the middle of the expo. I know you're getting situated for this weekend. We'll get this out, make sure people can catch you guys and definitely find you. Okay, man?
And if I want to say one more thing, two things. One is, if you're interested in, real estate investing at a professional level where you have the brands, you don't have to worry about that. National, obviously, recognizable brand. This is just one of them, by the way. We own a bunch of others that are more targeted to different people, like the probate one. Instead of, yes, you're probably going to start it on your own to try, but most of the time, just like most business, 90% of those fail, all right? Because they're not dialed in with all the systems. Okay. So give us a call. We'll have a nationwide franchise eventually. The other thing is, I have a book called Raggedy to Riches.
There we go.
Right. So if you go to Amazon or Audible, I don't have it pulled up now. Left a copy in the car, but you'll find it. It's called Raggedy to Riches.
Okay.
And that talks about the journey, and also it speaks about some of the do's and don'ts of how to get into the business the way we did it. And so you'll learn a lot there about the 5 F's and all that other stuff.
Okay. Well, we'll find all that, man, and put it in descriptions and stuff too. Make sure people can find it. Yeah. Anytime I hear Raggedy from now on, I'm gonna think of you now. So thanks for hooking me up.
We own that, right?
My man. Well, hey, dude, thank you for taking the time again, my friend. Best of luck to you guys this weekend at the expo. Have a phenomenal time, man. Hey, your guy Larry, Mondo, and our new friend Elvin, thank you for joining the AMG Podcast. We see you guys on the next episode. See ya.
This the AMG way, we don't follow the crowd. Quiet money moves, we just say it out loud. Tax-free living, long plays over hype. Build it right once, let the legacy right. We talk ownership.